Budget Secretary Butch Abando and the President's allies in the lower house also lauded the Chief Executive for his inspiring SONA. Again, here's Freddie Abando with the details.
Sa paghakbang natin sa tuwid na daan, pinili ninyo ang mabuti at ang tama. Tumutuo kayo sa akin at ako naman po ay tumutuo sa inyo. Ang transformasyong tinatamasa natin ngayon ay magagawa natin permanente sa gabay ng Panginoon hanggat buo ang ating pananalig at tiwala. At hanggat nagsisilbi tayong lakas ng isa't isa. Patuloy nating mapapatunayan na the Filipino is worth dying for. The Filipino is worth living for. At idagdag ko naman po, the Filipino is definitely worth fighting for.
The fifth State of the Nation address of President Benigno Aquino III was a defining moment for his stewardship of the country in 4 years. The chief executive underscored the gains of his administration in restoring the people's faith in government lost in the past administration. No less than Budget Secretary Florencio Abad defined the President's reform agenda of transparency and accountability, setting the course of sustained economic growth and the reduction of poverty incidence.
Just affirms and gives all the necessary data as well as the numbers and the testimonials that validate what the Supreme Court said. Undeniably, all this DAP and all the reforms that have been introduced since day one have borne fruit. And it's frustrating for him when he hears from, well, not the majority of Filipinos, but certain personalities who should know better and certain groups that these are not being acknowledged at all. And I think what pains him is that this is not just the blood, sweat, and tears of this government. For the first time in the history of this country, you have a government that is closely in touch with its people. And the reason for that is that it's the people who asked him to run for president.
Close allies of the President, to include his former peers in the House, Mindoro Oriental Governor Alfonso Umali Jr. said it was an inspiring speech to outline the impact of his presidency in restoring the people's confidence and the credibility of government. It was also the consensus of his supporters in the House.
Charity na napakita niya ron, na talagang, ginagawa ko naman, wala naman akong yung intensyon, yung pinagkatiwala niyo sa akin, ginagawa ko lang. Kung nagkamali man, pasensya, pero pinilit kong gawin, ginagampanan ko lahat ng aking dapat na gawin. Noong una, medyo luha-luha lang ng mamaya, hindi ko natin, nilabas ko na yung panyo ko, nahihiya man ako, pero ganun talaga eh. Maganda yung niya. Kasi kilala namin siya kung paano magtrabaho eh. At saka malakas ang niya, matapang eh. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya yung, hindi magkakrak yan, hindi magano. Pero that time, sabi, medyo nagkrak yung boss. Yan na yan. Kaya pati ka napaiyak na lang.
Through all the tests, trials, and torment brought about by the burden of leadership, Abad stressed the president has triumphed, beating political forces out to undermine his commitment to serve the people. Abad said his parents, the late Senator Benigno Ninoy Aquino and President Corazon Aquino, provided the inspiration and the light for the president to give his total commitment in the service of the country.
The father dismantled the dictatorship by his sacrifice. The mother restored the formal institutions of democracy despite the fact that she had to contend with 8 coup attempts that almost cost this president's life. The son now is giving substance to that democracy. So it's not just form, it's not just elections, it's just not having institutions of check and balances. But we are hitting at the very substance, which is really giving people a stake on it so that they own democracy by uplifting them from their conditions of poverty.
Meantime, Abad dismissed reports that President Aquino is against critics of his administration. Abad said the president is open to ideas from all sectors that will serve the national interest. For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.